Barry, I've got some questions, particularly about, aside from inflation, about inventory, right? And inventory looks to be rising due to seasonality here in Rhode Island and several other markets throughout the country. But do you feel that that trend is going to continue? For so long, inventory has been so low. And demographics, of course, play a key role into this. But do you find that inventory is going to increase over time, or
No, not in a meaningful way. Inventory
um,
is imagine you're descending off of a cliff, and that's what it's been like the past few years for inventory. And then you get like a little like this much of it's not inventory rising. Okay, that's maybe it's called stabilization. It really isn't rising. It's just stopped the dramatic descent.
mhm.
Now it may drop from here. The fact of it is, it's very difficult to get inventory at a meaningful level. And I also feel that the demand equation will increase because here's where demand and supply comes from. Demand comes from households being formed that purchase a home. That's your demand.
Okay.
It typically comes from people whose median age is 33 years old.
Mhm.
So they leave mommy and daddy and they need their own address and turn on the electric in their name. That removes a dwelling from the existing inventory. That removes inventory. What puts it back? A builder putting up a home.
Sure.
And when you think about the amount of households being formed versus the amount of construction that's being delivered, there's an imbalance where there's more demand and supply. So my feeling is that to some degree, well, it's not going to go in a straight line down. You see a little blip up. That's just part of a normal. The trend is still lower. I would not be surprised if we see inventories actually decrease. They could move up, but not in a meaningful way, not to where we'd be meeting the level of demand. We probably need an extra 500,000 more homes to be delivered, and that's just not happening. And Emilio, here's the thing too, is we always want to look to the future. That's what's helped us forecast.
Always.
When we look at births from 32 years ago, 31 years ago, 30 years ago, 29 years ago, which will be your first time home buyers for next year, the year after, the year after, and the year after, those people will come of age to buy a home. There was an enormous increase in the level of births. So
Mhm.
those people were born. They're coming. Okay.
Mhm.
And if you think they're going to live with mommy and daddy for the rest of their life till they're, like the 40-year-old virgin living with mom and dad or whatever, if you think that's the case,
Uh,
then maybe they won't take inventory. But if you believe that the trend will continue, that those people will want to eventually move out and get their own place, then my feeling is that they will continue to create a demand on inventory that will probably outstrip the supply. Lumber prices have definitely increased quite a bit to one point, costing the average home an extra $36,000 in cost. Now it's probably closer to an extra $20,000 to $25,000 in cost. That's not insignificant at any level, but it's very, very meaningful on the lower end. And that's where the first-time home buyers are looking to buy. Now, the government, in its infinite wisdom, right? So stupid. What they want to do is I don't know what the motivation is. Is the motivation that I just need to buy votes? Is the motivation that, I'm throwing all logic out to the wind? If they were to understand the problem, if somebody would speak up and say, excuse me, the problem is not that you have a shortage of buyers. The problem with the housing market today is you have too many buyers, not enough inventory. But no, how do they address the problem? Let's come up with every product out. Remember, we talked about this straw man argument. Who could argue with, oh, I want to help people with government service. I want to help first-time home buyers. I want to help underserved. It sounds beautiful. Oh,
yeah.
write a poem about it, right? This is beautiful stuff. But get the violins out, all 9 yards. So when they say that, everybody's like, oh, it's beautiful, it's great. But they're hurting those people more than helping them. Why? Because if you now have an influx of people who probably would have purchased a home in the next year or two, you're taking that future demand and you're not changing it. You're just crunching it forward so that now you create, it's like the meme stocks. Why did they skyrocket? Because of a short squeeze, right?
Mhm.
It was the apes on Reddit all getting together and saying, let's in a uniform act, pushing this together. Well, the government is acting like Reddit now. And what they're doing is they're making it like Wall Street bets. Let's take everybody, make them come with a rush of home buying. What do you think that's going to do with the inventory levels where they are? What do you even think? Home prices are going to skyrocket.
Absolutely.
Skyrocket. Home values will increase dramatically to an even more pressed level than they are right now. You might think that they're a little overextended now. Just wait. So when home prices rise another 15%, let's just say it's a $300,000 home. $300,000 home, 15% of that is you'd be overpaying by $45,000. How much did you get for your government benefit? 15. So congratulations. We pushed you into a home that maybe you can or can't afford. We did it sooner than you wanted to do it. And we cost you $30,000 because now you'll own a home that you overpaid for that won't have come back to that value. You'll be losing money for the next several years until that home maybe comes back to the value within a couple of years or not. So this is stupid. And by the way, what's the most disgusting aspect of this is we have empirical evidence that this doesn't work. It wasn't from 100 BC. Okay. This was just 10, 11 years ago.
Yeah.
When we tried this exact same thing, and it was a disaster. It artificially drove prices up, and then people got purchased here, got left holding the bag, and they were upside down in 2000. It was a disaster, and yet we want to do it again.